It's not about a number on the scale. It's about your relationship with your body from a much higher perspective.
Well, hey, welcome back to the Amanda Kaufman Show. And today we are going to talk about something super important with my guest, Julia Linn. She is a visionary transformation leader and master coach whose focus audience is women over 50. But hey, if you're not over 50, still listen. And if you're not a woman, still listen, because you know a woman over 50 who needs to hear this. And, she loves working with people who are ready to step into their next chapter full of vitality and purpose and power. She delivers body, mind, spirit coaching, immersive retreats, and signature programs that result in a lasting physical transformation, expanded confidence, and deeper soul alignment. And I think what really makes Julia special is her own journey. She has moved through childhood diabetes. She's been told that she wouldn't live past 40. And she, after getting a double organ transplant at just 34 years old and a cardiac bypass at 48, by 62, she decided to get in the shape of her life. And she competed and won a bodybuilding competition at age 64. Way to go. Her transformation inspired her to get certified as a fitness coach and use her professor background in spiritual life perspective to help women in menopause experience a path to life and a body that they really love. She's based in Savannah, Georgia. She works with clients online, nationwide, and internationally. Julia, holy cow, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amanda. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. I do meet a lot of coaches given what I do. And I'm always so impressed and inspired by someone who has such a strong, personal journey to kind of couple with the wisdom that you're bringing into your coaching practice. I'm so curious though, what was it about coaching that really drew you? I mean, like you did and accomplished a lot and overcame a lot. So what told you that coaching was going to be your next big chapter for your own vitality?
Amanda, I have always been, let's just call it a cheerleader. Like literally, I was a cheerleader in junior high and high school. But I really get a lot of satisfaction out of helping other people. And I got into the coaching space after a long career as a fashion professor and also kind of as a spiritual advocate and speaker in that realm, and realized how much I could help women get the results, not just in their body, but in their life based on my journey there. And it was just a natural fit, wanting to teach and use communication. And I'm also an artist, so visually, all of those things just came together. And to help women in my age group get the life they love and a body they feel is beautiful is like so satisfying to me. I just love doing it.
It's amazing. So needed, so needed in the world these days. Let's just start there with the need, for coaching, especially for this particular demographic. Are you finding that women are largely receptive to the idea of working with a coach like yourself on these things? Or, a lot of coaches report to me, and I'm so curious about your personal perspective on this. They get a little frustrated that the people that they want to help are perhaps not as receptive to receiving that help. And I'm just curious, for you, for this demographic, what have you found to be the truth of it? Do you find that women are just really wanting to work with a coach on these things? Or are you finding there's some hesitancy there? What's been your experience?
My experience with that is that it all comes back to me. What am I putting out there as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a professional expert coach in this space? Am I putting out there, it's a financial thing, I want to make a lot of money, la, la, la? Or is it, I love you ladies in this age group. We are sisters, bonded. I want to help you. And so I feel like just the message and energy and the reason I'm doing this brings me the right clients. And of course, there are women that they've never worked with a coach, or they don't want to spend the money, or they don't have the time. There's so many different excuses that can come up. And that just tells me, well, she's just not ready. And I am not going to push her to do something she's not ready to do. So I really love the action takers, because that's where it all starts. And at this stage, post-menopause, women are dealing with, well, menopause, looking at their body and going, who am I? And they might be taking care of aging parents who then pass away. They might be getting a divorce. They might be in retirement, empty nest, all these things. And they look back on their life and go, I've been taking care of everybody else my entire life. They don't know how to take care of themselves. And that's who I really speak to. And we go through all the nonsense online about your body and what you got to do to lose weight and all this stuff. And to me, it's really more about your self-identity, which will change your body. But you've got to take action with the nutrition and the exercise. It just, to me, it's very much, if it's a fit, then I'm expressing correctly what I'm actually giving in value. And if a woman's ready, she sees that and signs up. The ones that don't want to pay for transformation, or they want a free or a cheap version, they can go on YouTube and all of that. They usually won't get the results on their own. But I realized over my business career that if I really want to grow and expand, I need to pay an expert to help me. And it's just becoming very much just kind of what I think works. Yeah.
Yeah, you shared like a lot of gold in that and really validated the importance of having a message that actually resonates with a higher sense of shared purpose. So it's not just your purpose, but it's also this purpose that your potential clients would have to live a better life and to pursue that, that belief, but then reinforce it with transformation. I think another thing you said that was super, reinforcing of I've had a similar perspective is the essence of community and choosing, who to be with. And, for any coach that's listening to this, who's looking at what Julia is doing, you have a very community minded approach. Like, you want to lead a community. You may work with people privately, but you have a broader scope, I guess, of recognition of the challenge and the issue. And that's really, really powerful. And then like the final thing around investment, whether it's investment of time and energy, to win a bodybuilding competition at 64, oh my goodness, like that's extraordinary. And I'm so curious for yourself as you went through that transformation. I'm assuming you invested in coaches and support and all of that kind of thing to be able to accomplish that goal.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason I actually moved into that as a goal was at age 62, I was in that spot so many women are like, what happened to my body? I have time left on this planet. How do I want to feel? What do I want to do? And I'm like, I got to get my health back. Plus, at age 64, that was going to mark the 30th anniversary of my organ transplant. Gina, who was 25, died in a car accident, and I got one of her kidneys and her pancreas. It cured the diabetes I'd had since childhood. And I just really wanted to celebrate that I was still here. And, my husband and I have been married 36 years. I wanted to be around for him. I wanted to travel. There's just so much I wanted to do. So I decided I'm going to get healthy. The message was not, I'm going to get skinny. I'm going to get healthy.
That is good.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good. I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
So you went like really healthy though.
I did. Well, that was also a process. So I started lifting weights. I entered a challenge. I won the challenge for people over 40. Then we moved from Mexico to the US, and I thought, I need to find a coach that I can work with in person. And I did. And he saw how hard I was working. I was going to the gym 5 days a week. And he's like, you should compete. And I said, what do you mean compete? and he explained the bodybuilding world and masters level categories according to your age and sparkly bikinis and stripper heels on stage. And I'm like, no way, no way, no way. Who wants to see a woman in a bikini at 64? Well, apparently a lot of people do. So I just thought, I'm going to do this. And I found there is community around that. A lot of bodybuilders, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they're, kind of focused spiritually. I liked them. I like this tribe. And so I just kept going and realized that my example could send the message. If I can do this with all my health history, you can do it too. It was just to show up and do it made a powerful impact on other people. And I had not thought about coaching until my Instagram blew up. And so many women were DMing me, do you coach, do you coach, do you coach? And I thought, I'm an educator. I love community. Yeah, I should look at this. And I did. Got certified and immediately hit the ground running. Yeah.
So good. That's so good. And man, so Julia, what is something that people don't really ask you that you wish they did?
About the journey that I offer as a coach, or
Sure,
about
yeah, about the journey you offer, or about like this phase of life. Like, you do interact with like a lot of people, and they probably have their interests, right? Of what sparks their curiosity. But I love to know, like, when somebody has really deepened their expertise the way that you have, what's the question they're not asking you that you wish that they did?
I wish they would ask me more about the actual transformation that they're looking for, but sometimes they don't know. So we all know that we need to give our clients what they want. And when they're in that container, then we give them what they need. And I wish more women would ask, what do I really have to do to get the transformation? Because there's action steps and there's mindset steps. And the thing is, it's not that hard. You do not have to go to the gym 5 days a week for an hour and a half. You do not have to completely change your way of eating and living. It's a very small, it's like the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, little tiny steps at a time. So your body can adjust, your mind can adjust, but then it becomes permanent and sustainable and enjoyable. I think a lot of women are afraid because they think it's overwhelming to get a transformation physically, that they're going to have to give up their favorite foods, that they're not going to be happy on vacation or holidays. That's not true. And as the weight and fat begins to come off because they're building muscle, they're changing their self-identity, they just I've got strategies where they'll just wake up one day and go, oh my God, this hasn't been that hard. And look at myself in the mirror. And I think women over 50 in particular, women in menopause, we're the badass creatures on the planet. And the world needs our energy. We are the wise grandmothers. And if you don't feel well, you can't give your light to others. And I'm not talking about bikini body. I'm talking about you're confident in your body, it's working well, your clothes fit, you go out the door, you feel good about yourself. It's not about a number on the scale. It's about your relationship with your body from a much higher perspective.
That's so good. Well, I feel called to ask this question. So, what would you say to someone who has perhaps struggled with weight for their whole life? And now they're getting to this stage of life. I really feel like you're unique. You have a very unique perspective because you have been through so much, physical change. That's not a small thing to go from, experiencing childhood diabetes to organ transplants and, like lots of actual real change. So what would you say to someone? I notice like there's people who are like, I want to get back to like a level of fitness, but what would you say to the person who maybe doesn't have that baseline? They want to have like a new, different level that they're not going back to, but rather they're activating something that maybe they've never had before.
Yeah, I would first of all really want to ask them questions about their journey. I would want to ask them about their relationship with food and how they feel about their body and maybe the messages they got growing up, I want to know more about that woman than anybody. So if the thing is, we all know how to lose weight. We all know we have to eat less and exercise. Like we
Right.
all know that. So why don't we do it and why doesn't it stick? And it's all the other weight we carry on the inside that keeps us from actually manifesting it on the outside. I always say that the body is a 3D journal of our inner life. And,
Mm.
if you're carrying the weight of I should, I can't, the weight of other people's opinions, the weight of messages you got as a child or in your teen years or by somebody you respected that really made you feel small, those are the things I like to know about because otherwise, just to tell someone, I did it, you can do it. How am I supposed to believe that, right? Like,
Right.
so we need to build another vision for someone that hasn't. And in a way, it's great if they haven't tried a lot of different things because then hopefully they're more open. And it's never a matter of you've got to do all these things. It's a matter of what can you do right now? What feels doable? And let's just do it one day at a time. So yeah, it doesn't matter what stage she's at because I've been at all those stages too. And I'm learning more and more how to find out the best way to help that woman. Part of it is personalized because we're all unique. We all have a different medical history. We all have a different cultural background with food and genetics and DNA and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
So it ends up being, what do you need? What can we do to help personalize this for you? It's never like, here's your, 1,200 calories a day. Here's your food list. Here's your exercise plan. See you later. Check in every couple of weeks. It's like, what can you do with where you are now? And then constantly this expansion of, oh my God, these little wins, which are so important, end up being huge transformational shifts in her self identity. And nothing's more exciting to me than seeing that happen because it's going to impact her family. It's going to impact the people around her. It's going to impact her life. She's going to be able to live this amazing life for the years and decades she has left.
So good. I love that. And it's so interesting too because I do more business coaching. I tend to focus more on the business side of coaching and especially in this modern world we find ourselves in, the resistance to being seen, the resistance to having repetition in our messaging, the resistance to like a lot of that visibility piece and the invitation forward to conversion. That's like the thing that I spend probably 95% of my time on with people because it's actually like the same thing. They get handed that recipe card, not unlike the 1,200 calorie thing. And it's like, okay, call me, call me in a month when you've shed all the weight. And people can't work with the recipe card. Like they get it, but they can often turn into a stick, that they beat themselves with because they're not complying enough with that thing and they don't know what else is going on. And so often it is a lack of social support.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most beautiful thing that coaching can really offer, in my opinion, is that it's a social construct that is going to make up for where your friends can't do it, your family can't do it, your employer can't do it. It's having that space to really focus on that goal that's uniquely important to you. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you mentioned community before, which to me is like the key ingredient. And in group coaching, I do one-on-one personal and then I have group coaching. In the group coaching, the women get so comfortable with each other. I don't know how many times I've heard, I've never told anybody this. And then that's a place for them to safely share, and those kinds of opportunities to build community as a coach, as someone who's giving service, whether it's in health and wellness or relationships or wealth building, like being around other people that want the same thing you do and being led by someone who's walked the walk and is on the path. That's the other thing. As a coach, I always feel like I'm really not telling you anything you don't already know. I'm just helping you discover that you know it and you've been ignoring it. Why? Because of all these like
Yeah.
blocks, emotional
It's the
blocks.
accountability side, that mirroring side that just helps us shift our focus.
Yeah.
Well, Julia, I've really appreciated having you on the show today. How can people follow you and get to know you better?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram, and I have a very, it's not it's an unusual name. It's Dolphin, Dolphin, with INE after it, Dolphinine. And I
Okay.
picked that name 5 years ago because of a dream I had being in a dolphin body. And they're all about play and joy and strength, and they have a high sense of justice and community. So it's like my spirit animal. So Dolphinine, follow me on Instagram. And if you go there, send me a DM with the word fabulous, and I will send you my free ebook, which is The 5 Mistakes Women Make That Keep from Looking and Feeling Fabulous After 50.
So good. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. And dear listener, all of Julia's links are below in the show notes, wherever you happen to be listening or watching. And don't forget to grab the link to this episode and share it with 3 of your friends who would find this super beneficial. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you have a moment, make sure you take a moment to review our show because it helps new listeners decide whether they want to spend time with us. And we always really appreciate that. Until the next time, just make sure you keep your chin up and you do what matters.